Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me and you from the people who listen and apply. My brothers and sisters, yesterday I buried a very, very dear brother to me. And subhanallah, he was even younger than me. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on him and make his grave a garden from Jannah. And all our deceased brothers and sisters and parents, Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So when I was there, I looked at that grave and how tight it is and how dark it will be, and Allahu Alam how hot or how cold. And I felt like I want to remind myself and remind my beloved brothers and sisters of what can we do to protect ourselves from the punishment of the grave. What are the a'mal, what are the actions that Rasulullah ﷺ told us that they will protect us from the punishment of the grave? Of course, before we mention all these actions, we have to remember that the person have to be a mu'min, have to be a person who is fulfilling the obligation first. A person who is doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking him to do from the salat and the fasting of Ramadan, and he's giving the zakat that is due. And if he was capable or she was capable of going to Hajj, they have already done their Hajj and all that. And then these things will apply, inshallah ta'ala. So we do not say that if somebody does not do this or this happened to him, he's definitely punished, he's definitely saved from the punishment of the grave. Okay? So number one, and of course, as usual, all the hadith I will be narrating are authentic. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, any Muslim who dies on a Friday or Friday night, yani the Thursday night, what we call now Thursday night, he will be protected by Allah from the testing, the fitna of the qabr, from the testing of the grave. So if someone, like we said, fulfilling the obligations, and he or she died on Thursday night, which is Islamically Friday night, or Friday during the day till Maghrib, that's insha'Allah ta'ala an indication that this person will be saved from the punishment of the grave. Second, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, he who dies of an internal trouble, yani an abdomen disease, cancer in the stomach, some kind of internal sickness, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, he or she will be saved from the punishment of the grave. Third, al-murabit. What does murabit mean? Murabit is the person who is stationed at the border of a Muslim country, defending that country from the enemy. Okay, he's on the border of a Muslim country and there's an enemy on the other side, and he is stationed there with their weapons, and they are watching all night, and they take turns between day and night between each other to protect the Muslims in that country. It is called murabit. Rasulullah ﷺ said, being stationed for a day and night on the frontier in Allah's path is better than fasting for a month and making tahajjud for a month. Allahu Akbar. And at the end of the hadith, it says, or another hadith, it says that he will be saved from the punishment of the grave. Fourth, a shaheed. If somebody died as a shaheed. You know, we all know that the shaheed will have many, many rewards in the akhirah. Okay? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us that there are different kinds of people that will deserve the name of a shaheed. The one who dies, if a building fell on them, he will be considered shaheed. A person who died burned will be considered a shaheed. If somebody drowned, will be considered a shaheed. If a woman died while she's delivering, will be considered a shaheed. If somebody died from the plague, it will be considered a shaheed. So the shaheed also, one of the rewards of the shaheed is that he or she will be saved from the punishment of the grave. Number 5 is staying away from what Rasulullah ﷺ told us that it will lead to the punishment of the grave. For example, the famous hadith that we all know, that Rasulullah ﷺ passed by a grave and he said that those two people in the grave, they are being punished, and they thought that what they used to do, something simple. One of them used not to clean themselves after urinating. And the other used to spread namima. What is namima? Be very careful, my brothers and sisters. Namima is to go to brother A and to tell him, do you know what brother B said about you? Do you know, you go to sister A and you tell her, do you know what sister B said about you? And you start creating fitna between two people. That is called namima. And that brings the punishment of the grave. Staying away from namima, cleaning ourselves after urinating, that will protect us from the punishment of the grave. Also, to stay away from not praying bring the punishment of the grave. Breaking a fast without any valid reason in Ramadan, not fasting a day in Ramadan for no valid excuse, also will bring the punishment of the grave. Staying away from all these things will also save us from the punishment of the grave. Number 6, reciting frequently Surah Al-Mulk. Surah Al-Mulk, reciting it, living it, applying it, will protect us from the punishment of the grave. And there's authentic hadith that Rasulullah ﷺ told us that it will also intercede for us on the day of judgment. And Rasulullah ﷺ used to recite it at night. Okay? But reciting it to protect from the punishment of the grave did not indicate day or night. Finally, my brothers and sisters, to protect ourselves from the punishment of the grave, ask Allah Azza wa Jal, make dua. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make a dua every morning. اللهم عافني في بدني اللهم عافني في بصري اللهم عافني في سمعي لا إله إلا أنت اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الكفر والفقر وأعوذ بك من عذاب القبر لا إله إلا أنت. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to seek refuge from the punishment of the grave. So why don't we ask Allah, Ya Allah, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr. Ya Allah, save us from the punishment of the grave. Ya Allah, make our grave Jannah. Ya Allah, give us and make us from the people who are steadfast when they are being questioned on the grave, in the grave. So asking Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us from the punishment of the grave is also one of the ways to be saved from the punishment of the grave. So my brothers and sisters, these are some of the methods, around 7 methods or ways in order to save ourselves from the punishment of the grave. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us and our spouses and our children and our parents and the people we love and the people who love us from the punishment of the grave. Because the grave is the first stage of the akhirah. If the stage of the grave, the life in the grave is good, then what follows is better. And if the life in the grave is bad, what follows will be worse. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make my grave and your grave a Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the punishment of the grave and the punishment of the hellfire. May Allah make our last deeds our best deeds and make our last words La ilaha illallah. Jazakumullah khair. I love you all for the sake.